Hey everybody, it's Erica from The Broken Spine. Welcome back to my channel, and if this is your first time here, thank you for stopping by. Before I get started, I just wanted to, everybody already knows about the coronavirus and the impact that it is having on all of us. So all I wanted to do before I get started is just to say, take care, be careful, make sure you are following your local and state governments, what they have outlined. Please just make sure you are being vigilant in not helping to spread or contracting it yourself. Make sure you are social distancing if at all possible. Make sure you're washing your hands. Make sure you are doing what you need to do in order to stay safe and to keep others around you safe. The other thing that I wanted to say, if you know of anyone that is out there panic buying, or if you are panic buying, please don't, because there are so many people out there that don't have the supplies that they need in order to get through should they end up with the virus. So just be mindful of yourself and everyone else around you. So having said that, I wanted to do a video if by chance if you have to self-quarantine. I wanted to share with you some books that I have read that I want to read as well. Should I need to self-quarantine. We actually put up an end cap at the bookstore with book recommendations, and all of us put on there a recommendation. So I just thought I would share some of that are, like I said, some that are my favorites and some that I want to read, and there are actually a couple here that I am reading. I keep looking over because I have a whole pile of books here. So and I have them broken up into like categories: young adult, biography, some others, but when I get there you'll see. So, and also, like I've been starting off with a question of the day. So if you have to self-quarantine, or whatever it is that you're reading or have read in the past that you would recommend to someone that has to self-quarantine, or just wants another book recommendation, leave it in the description box, leave it in the comments, and what I will do is, for all the books that are left in the comments, I will put them up in the description box so people will have one central place to go to. A lot of the books I am not going to go into detail because we should already know about them. So, but I will put the Goodreads link to all of them in case you want to look them up and look at the summaries and decide really and truly decide for yourself whether or not you want to read it. So without further ado, let's get to it. I'm going to start with the only nonfiction that I have. I've read other nonfiction, but I think for the purpose of this, I'm not going to put it out there, and I think that this is a good one because, well, I'll just show it to you. It's Michelle Obama's Becoming. I'm not going to get into it. We all know who Michelle Obama is. We all know that she has a biography. My next group of books are YA, and I'm not going to get into this one. The Hate You Give by Angie Thomas. We all know what that's about. But if you haven't read it, definitely pick it up and read it. The next book that's on my list is Juliet Takes a Breath by Gabby Riviera. This is about a young girl, and I started reading this last year, and I had to get it back to the library, and then it came into the store, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna get it, and I got like the last copy. So Anyway, so just really quickly, this is about Juliet is a self-proclaimed closeted Puerto Rican baby dyke from the Bronx, only she's not so closeted anymore. Not after coming out to her family the night before flying to Portland, Oregon to intern with her favorite feminist writer, which sure to be a life-changing experience. And when Juliet's coming out crashes and burns, she's not so sure her mom will ever speak to her again. And there is more to the summary, but I'm not going to read the whole thing. But that's just kind of some of the gist of it. My next group of books are ghost stories, hauntings, and one zombie book. I have Shirley Jackson's The Haunting of Hill House, another classic, Henry James' The Turning of the Screw, nice ghost story. So, hey y'all, it's editing Erica, sleepy Erica here, and I realized it was at the end of the video that I was like, I'm missing something, but what is it that I'm missing? And I cannot believe that I forgot to include this book. So, I don't know. But anyway, I'm just like, I'm really shocked that I forgot it. But it is Toni Morrison's Beloved, and Beloved is considered to be the gateway book to reading Toni Morrison. If you've not read Toni Morrison before, definitely you can start with Beloved, start with The Bluest Eye, just start reading Toni Morrison, period. But this one is the perfect, the perfect ghost story, the perfect haunting story. Just, if you're interested in that, read Beloved. So this is my last recommendation for if you're quarantined, or if you just need or want some book recommendations. You want to pick something else up. So anyway, this is it. So I will let you guys get back to watching the video, and I'll see you at the end. The zombie book is The Girl with All the Gifts by M.R. Carey. I'm just going to read you the plot. 20 years ago, humanity was infected by a variant of the fungus called, I'm not even going to try to pronounce it. The infected, referred to as hungries, quickly lose their mental powers and feed on the flesh of healthy humans. The disease spreads through blood and saliva, but can also spread through spores created by the fungus. So that to me is, I would enjoy reading something like that. So maybe you will too. I don't know. But anyway, it's part of my recommendations. My next set of books are dystopian and science fiction. So my one is Margaret Atwood's The Handmaid's Tale. I wasn't a fan of this, to be perfectly honest, but it is one of the recommendations someone put at work. So I'm going to put it out there that I know that there are a lot of people out there that really love The Handmaid's Tale. I really wasn't on The Handmaid's Tale boat. This just was not, or maybe it was the time that I read it that I just didn't sit well with me. And it's always been one that I've said I was going to reread to see after I've lived a little, to see if I felt any differently about it. My next book is We by Yevgeny Zamayatin. This was originally published in 1921, and this is considered like the precursor to George Orwell, Ayn Rand, and even Margaret Atwood for that matter. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read you the Goodreads description. I read this several years ago and like tabbed the heck out of it, if you can see that. So there are there are lots of good things in this very short book. I've highlighted some things, if you can see. So yeah, and I've got like little notes in here. But yeah, so this is one that I definitely recommend. But anyway, so what is We about? In a glass enclosed city of absolute straight lines ruled over by the all-powerful benefactor, the citizens of the totalitarian society of one state live out lives devoid of passion and creativity until D-503, and they don't have names like Erica, Bob, whatever. They don't have names. They go by a letter and a number system. So so let's continue. Until D5-503, a mathematician who dreams in numbers makes a discovery. He has an individual soul. And my next book is Dark Matter by Blake Crouch. Again, I read this a few years ago. When I read this at my bookstore in Colorado, and it was the district pick, so we were in competition with other bookstores within our district to sell who could sell the most of these, and our store didn't win, but we came close to it. But I read it then, and I am not like a huge, actually I don't read romance, and that's something that I would like to change. But and also, if you have a romance, if you are a person that likes romance, or you have a favorite romance, please leave it in the comments, because that is a genre that I don't read. So just put it in the comments, and I'd greatly appreciate it. Help expand my reading. But anyway, so there is a romance in here, and the guy, Jason, just absolutely got on my last nerve because he's such a romantic. But anyway, Jason is we start off with this Jason character. He is he's abducted and taken to another universe, and another Jason takes his place. So he's like he's going to these different universes to get back to his own. He eventually makes it back, but then there's a whole nother level, a whole nother problem. But it just chronicles his journey trying to get back to his universe, to his wife and child, and what he encounters. And he encounters his wife who's not his wife, his son who's not his son. It's a fun read, and it's a really quick read, so I do recommend Dark Matter. My next one is Octavia Butler's Kindred. I don't think I really need to go into that, because I think, we all know about Octavia Butler. The next book on my list is An Unkindness of Ghost by Rivers Solomon. This was I read this last year as well. I'm going to reread it because there's a lot in here I feel it's too unpack. This takes place on a generational spaceship called Matilda, and they are hurtling through space, and they've been doing this for years and years and years. So it is set up very much like the antebellum South, in that on the upper decks you have the wealthy people, and as you go lower, you have the people that work what they call the fields. There's colorism in here. There's classism. Aster, who is our main character, is I would say that Aster is non-binary. There's another character in here, Theo, who it's hinted at that he's queer. I think, and if I remember correctly, I think he's called queer. I love the character of Aster, and I believe Aster also is on an autistic spectrum. She's neurodiverse. It doesn't go into that, but it's hinted at. My next group of books is are two mysteries, and the first one is Gillian Flynn's Dark Places. I read this, so many years ago, and I truly, truly enjoyed it. The next one that I have is The Gun by, I'm definitely butchering the name, Fuminori Nakamura. I got this when I lived in Colorado at the library book sale. I saw it, I read the back of it, and I thought it was really interesting, and it actually really was. It took a journey into some Japanese literature, and I haven't read Japanese literature in a really long time. So just to sum up, on a nighttime walk along a Tokyo river bank, a young man named Nishikawa stumbles on a dead body, beside which lies a gun. From the moment Nishikawa decides to take the gun, the world around him blurs. Knowing he possesses the weapon brings an intoxicating sense of purpose to his dull university life. The gun follows Nishikawa's mental demise and his obsession with this gun. It's quite an interesting story, and I like Nakamura's writing, so I do want to read more of him. The next group of books that I have are horror, and I'm going to kind of disagree a little bit on this one. This was one of my favorites when I had to read it, and it's Charlotte Perkins Gilman's The Yellow Wallpaper, and this copy that I have, it has other stories by her, but my recommendation is The Yellow Wallpaper. My next recommendation is Thomas Ligotti's Song of a Dead Dreamer and Grimscribe. So this is short stories, and a lot of it is psychological thriller. I haven't finished reading it. I've read some of the stories, and some of the stories have definitely kept me up at night. One of the stories in here, I can't remember the name of it right now. I remember having to sleep with the light on, and I was just like, okay. This one really had me like a little on edge, but if you like horror and you like psychological thrillers, this is one that I definitely recommend you. So the next one is Goth by Otsuchi, and I'm pretty sure I'm pronouncing the name incorrectly, but this one is Marino is the strangest girl in school. How could she not be, given her obsession with brutal murders? And there are plenty of murders to grow obsessed with, as the town in which she lives is a magnet for serial killers. She and her schoolmates will go to any length to investigate the murders, even putting their own bodies on the line. And they don't want to stop the killers. Marina and her friend simply want to understand them. So this was actually one of the books that was recommended. It was recommended to me a couple years ago, but one of my coworkers also recommended it for the NCAP that we have for if you're going to be quarantined or self-quarantined. But and I had it. I've had it for a couple years, but it sounded interesting to me, and I maybe we'll read it soon. The last one that I have is Horror Story by Grady Hendrix. So this one is kind of a satire, but it's also a horror, humor, mystery, kind of falls into a bunch of different categories. It's one that I do want to read, and this follows the it's an IKEA-esque type store in Cleveland, Ohio, and the employees come in every morning to find furniture broken and glass strewn about. So they're trying to figure it out. Sales are down, and they're just trying to figure out what's going on. So they're kind of working in a haunted store. There are employees that actually volunteer to work from the time the store closes until the morning to see if they can figure out what's going on. So those are my recommendations. If you find yourself having to self-quarantine, or you just need some extra reading, you just want some extra reading, those are my recommendations. And again, if you have any recommendations that you would like to leave in the comments, please make sure you do. And again, I will make sure that I put your suggestions in the description box. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please make sure you give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and click the bell to be notified of new content. I will see you guys later, and please be safe. Take care.